What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into Moon Knight, issue number 8. This will be a Devil's Reign tie-in. And if you haven't been keeping up with Moon Knight or Devil's Reign, go ahead, check out the links in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on so far. But as we saw in Devil's Reign, Moon Knight has been arrested, and with him no longer out on the streets, his brother, Hunter's Moon, has come up to take the mantle of Moon Knight in his absence. Be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 8, we are picking up with Dr. Moon. Dr. Moon being Hunter's Moon, the brother, the other fist of Khonshu. And in the last issue, it really gave us a huge character arc for him, because while he came here to make his brother pay, to remind his brother of the god they serve, he found that Moon Knight was protecting vampires. Hunter's Moon not able to understand why this is. That is, until Reese had come to him in some kind of attempt to save Moon Knight's life. And so because of this, he really has started to rethink everything that he knows. Because for as long as he can remember, killing vampires, killing those that would hurt others in the night, that has been their whole goal. But now having a change of heart and helping his brother out at the mission, and he's doing this not just because he wants to help his brother out, he really wants to figure out what it is that Moon Knight has found here that makes him want to continue doing this work. And this is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. With Moon Knight getting blindsided by the Thunderbolts, he gets taken down and he gets thrown in jail. But regardless, the work, it must go on. And today's work, there is a symbol and there are people that are littered with crossbow bolts. And this is said to be the work of Stained-Glass Scarlet. Charlotte being an individual that was married to a gangster. She gets married, has a child. That child ends up following the same footsteps. Both of them reaching death. The father being taken out by the police. And the son was killed by his own mother. After that, she kind of went into vigilantism and then dabbled in some terrorism. But the issue right now is there are dead bodies lying around the city and her symbol is painted all over the place. And the other issue is that Stained-Glass Scarlet, she is thought to be dead for at least 2 years at this point. And so the question may be, they maybe have a copycat or they have something else going on. And it wasn't hard for people to believe that she had died, because she had no real training, she had no powers. She was really just a crazy lady with a crossbow. And so with Hunter's Moon going to investigate where all of this is coming from, it leads him to an old abandoned building. A building that just so happens to be littered with her symbol. Now for Moon Knight, he had a really complicated relationship when it came to Scarlet. And so when Hunter's Moon arrives on site, she believes at first that it is in fact Moon Knight. But he quickly informs her that he is not the same, asking where she is, asking for her to show her face. She says that she is everywhere. Everywhere that her mark is, that is where she is. And Hunter's Moon is letting her know that he is not afraid of her, because he is the Fist of Khonshu, and there is nothing that he fears. And we see him fall. The floor gives out underneath his feet, and he goes tumbling down to the ground. And this is where he gets a story. This is where we begin to understand the Stained-Glass Scarlet. It's a story of a girl who wanted to be a nun, or maybe even an actress. She had tried the former, but realized that she was the latter. A wife to a monster, the mother to another. A killer shot down in the same church where her husband and son had died in gunfire decades apart. And after that day, she became more of a legend. And with those words have power. Because it is with words that we make stories. And though she did die those 2 years ago, when she died, the Stained-Glass Scarlet was truly born. She was born of words of fear, blood, and retribution. Because what people would do is they would draw her symbol and then they would pray to her. And in their prayers, they would ask for someone to be killed, to take care of someone that they didn't want to do themselves. And so, the Glass-Stained Scarlet, she became mythology. She became a story that could kill. And with every time her story is getting told, she grows stronger. These prayers, these wishes, they give her life, and she gives them vengeance. And at this point, we have Hunter's Moon. He begins taking some crossbow bolts, getting one of them in his side. He asks her the question that if you seek out vengeance, why are you attacking me? What have I done and what is this punishment for? And she tells Hunter's Moon that she can see into his heart, that he is one to lift his blade and stakes against those who are innocent. And though no one asked specifically for his death, in this place, in this church that she has created, she has the will to do anything she chooses. This is the place that she was born, and so she needs no permission to enact her vengeance. And as the walls begin to close in on Hunter's Moon, he lets her know that he did in fact try to kill those vampires. He didn't recognize who they were. He was blinded by his own hatred, not recognizing that they are brave and wholesome individuals even though they were turned into vampires. He wasn't seeking vengeance for those he helped. He wasn't seeking vengeance for his god. He knows that this was a selfish endeavor, and though he may be the Fist of Khonshu, he is also just a person, and people are able to change. And so if people can change, why can a story not as well? And she lets Hunter's Moon know that you can't kill a story, especially with fists and blades. And so more just to summarize what's happening here is Stained-Glass Scarlet. She is in fact a god. She may be a very young god, but she is turned into a god because of the prayers, because of the people asking for vengeance. This has given her power. That mythology has come to reality. The only issue is her story is very young. This god is nothing but a youngling. And in comparison to the one and only Khonshu, this god is nothing. And this is where we see Hunter's Moon. He summons his god. He summons his father. We see Khonshu come onto the scene. And at first, the Scarlet, she is very confused on what is happening here, with Hunter's Moon enlightening her that this is the Embracer, the healer, the Pathfinder, the defender of those who travel at night. And our young godling tries letting the Moon God know that you have no power here. And while the Moon God, he may be unjustly imprisoned, when he is summoned by one of his children, he has a small amount of power. And even his small amount of power in comparison to this young godling is such a greater power. Because the truth of the matter is that she has only been getting prayed to, worshipped, and people coming to her out of desperation for a couple of years. Khonshu, on the other hand, he has been playing this game for thousands of years. And this is where he starts to give her some lessons. Though the Scarlet wants to kill him, neither of them can die. What they can do is wage war on one another. They can reduce one another in power, and they can be banished. If only for a time, they can be hurt. And so, with our Moon God now banishing the Scarlet, we pick up with Reese and Hunter's Moon later on that evening. And Hunter's Moon, he's really just giving Reese a recap of everything that just transpired. Because the truth is, he really didn't have to do anything. And it's not like he could have done anything even if he wanted to. He had to summon an ancient god to take down a young god. It's definitely not your average day alley beat up. But this makes him come back to Reese and tell her that he is sorry, that he has never gotten to it just yet, but he is apologizing for trying to kill her. And for Reese, it's something that she's not really necessarily ready to forgive. Though she tells him that it is okay, you can still tell that there is a lot of contentment behind her eyes. And as for the glass-stained Scarlet, well, she is not able to be killed, as long as there is someone out there worshipping her, praying to her name. As long as there are people asking for vengeance, her power will begin to grow again. And it will be only a matter of time before we have her return. And this is when we are shown an epilogue of Ravencroft. And right now, 2 guards are putting everyone on alert. And that is because these 2 guards have just realized that the Hydra/terrorist known as Winter Rutherford, he has escaped from Ravencroft. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You guys know I have been absolutely loving this Moon Knight line, and having these Devil Reign tie-ins is going to be a lot of fun. We have Devil's Reign Moon Knight issue number 1 coming at, I believe, at the end of the month, beginning of next month. But this little tie-in here, this is a lot of fun because we get Hunter's Moon having the opportunity to really understand his brother's shoes. To understand why it is he is doing everything that he has been doing. Because by all accounts, Hunter's Moon up to this point has believed that his brother had turned away from their god. And that's really not the case. Because the truth of the matter is that Moon Knight, he's just found a different way to do things. That there are more than just innocent humans to protect out here. That there are people like Reese who are vampires not by choice, but they continue to not take life. To not take blood without it being from a blood bank or it being someone who is willing to give it to them. It's really opening up his eyes and letting him know that while this world is full of monsters, not everyone you think is a monster is in fact that. And with our escaped criminal from Ravencroft, we have to think that maybe this has to do with Zodiac. And if it doesn't have to do with Zodiac, maybe Winter is coming back and he is going to try to lay down some hate on Hunter's Moon. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.